What is up, guys? This is HEROTAK, and today we'll talk about a possible Scarlet Witch solo movie. So, as I said, there is the possibility of a Scarlet Witch solo movie. No one really teased some kind of this happening, but in an interview with Elizabeth Olsen, she was asked what she thinks about a Scarlet Witch solo movie. And she would agree to play Scarlet Witch in a solo movie. She definitely likes the idea and would be on board, but she says that to make such a movie, she wants it to make sense. She wants the movie to make sense in the universe, because Scarlet Witch isn't that of a big character right now. She has an important role in the MCU, but it wouldn't make really sense right now to produce a Scarlet Witch solo movie, because she doesn't have such kind of great story and background story in the MCU right now. But definitely she could develop such kind of a story, and definitely she could have a solo movie in the future. And who knows, maybe she will get a movie in 2020, which one of these movies that were announced in the schedule, but we don't actually know which movies these are. I also think that a Scarlet Witch movie would be great, just to learn more about this character, because she is actually very powerful and has a great role, I think, and I would love to see her in a bigger role. And speaking of developing a story for a Scarlet Witch solo movie and giving sense to such a movie, there are some points that a Scarlet Witch solo movie should focus on. I could imagine, for example, that the relationship between Scarlet Witch and Vision could develop and just have a major plot point in this movie. As we already saw in Civil War, they kind of started something like a romantic relationship with each other, and this will come up in the future films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And if we will see something about these two characters in the following Avengers movies, I don't know. So a Scarlet Witch solo movie could be useful for this storyline. And yes, as some of you might know, in the comics, Vision and Scarlet Witch have a romantic relationship, and it's good to see that also the MCU decided to portray this in the movies. And this could definitely be something for a Scarlet Witch solo movie. And this will take us probably also in depth for the Infinity Gems and all this stuff, the powers that Scarlet Witch has because of the Infinity Gem, the one that Loki had in his scepter, and how her powers influence on Vision himself and his gem, because the Infinity Gem that he has in his forehead is the one that also Loki had in his scepter, and is the same gem that gave Scarlet Witch her powers. And clearly this brings these two characters together, as they basically Vision was basically created by this gem. I mean, his physical body not, how we saw in Avengers Age of Ultron, but his identity maybe yes, it's hard to say, because also Vision himself mentions it, that he himself doesn't understand himself and what the gem does to him. I mean, Vision is actually the human version of Jarvis, but it is the mind gem that gives him life and that shapes also his character in a way. And we don't have a clear understanding of how this works, as he himself says it, that he doesn't know it himself. And maybe this could also, the Scarlet Witch solo movie could also be a way to explore this character of Vision, if he doesn't get a own movie himself. But what I also wanted to say is that how could also see more how these two characters interact with each other, clearly, but how Scarlet Witch influences Vision because of her powers coming from the gem that Vision has in his forehead. Because also in Civil War, this was just a shocking moment for me when I saw that Scarlet Witch basically has the ability to fully control Vision and his powers. So all of Vision's powers are completely useless in front of Scarlet Witch, because she can basically control him and his powers because of the gem, because it is the gem that gives him power, but it is also the gem that gave Scarlet Witch her powers. So that could be very interesting to see how this could develop, and if a Vision just gets to know more about himself and the gem and how the gem affects him, and yes, basically just exploring how the relationship between these two could evolve, and in which way her control over Vision could develop. Also, in finding Vision's identity, she could help him exploring his identity and how the gem affects him. And another thing, I could imagine something with Quicksilver, but this is just a thought and only a theory, because Quicksilver died in Avengers Age of Ultron. But there are theories and people who want Quicksilver to return, and many people are believing that he will return in some way. And there are theories for that, because also for Civil War, many people thought that he would be in these yellow containers, but it turned out to be that these were just other Winter Soldiers. And yes, I could imagine that Quicksilver will at least be mentioned, or maybe the movie will be about bringing him back to life. Who knows, maybe in some way she will just find out a way, maybe with her own powers, to bring him back to life, or maybe they find a new Infinity Gem which can bring him back to life, or anything like that. And maybe the movie then will be about bringing Quicksilver back to life. So yes, and as usual, leave a comment for feedback so I know what you think about my videos. Let me know what you think about the Scarlet Witch solo movie and the possibility of Vision and possibly Quicksilver showing up in this movie. And leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more.